week 9?
God knows. You tell me.
We'll go week 9. Week 9, round 3.
How the fuck did we get that many podcasts in before the season even started?
Yeah, we've done pretty well. I think we're up. Yeah, we've been doing it for a couple of months now.
Incredible. What did we finish on listeners of the last pod? About 13?
We ended up at about 20. So
20.
We've actually hit our PBs. We've done the most in a row that we've ever done, and we've got the most unique viewers we've ever done. So
Not bad for a podcast that's literally never had any promotion.
yeah, and it's done out of a shed. Normally.
Yeah, actually.
We've actually been promoted to the kitchen today. We don't have any beers, so it could be an off day.
An absolute stinker for me.
Oh yeah.
I've been on the caffeine though, so that's kept me alive.
Pump it up a wee bit.
In a way.
We'll start off with week 2 results or our predictions. I had a miserable tipping week. How did you go?
Oh, I actually have no idea how I did tipping wise. I'll just log into that and have a look. I'll tell you one thing though. The game where you have to guess the margin, I nailed.
What, the exact margin?
Yeah, it had the Sharks by 4.
Oh,
it
good
was
work.
Quite unbelievable.
Yeah, I had a fucking shocker. I got tricked out of backing the Panthers last second.
I did that
Went
too.
for the Bunnies, even though it wasn't a big, 16-10. It was just the Rabbits never looked like winning.
What does that mean for me, by the way? There it is, read 'em and weeps. Your margin.
Maybe you get two times the points? I don't know.
Not a clue.
Even though it's fucking impossible.
I'm expecting a prize in the mail. Personally.
Well, you get one for tipping. You certainly won't get one for your fantasy team.
No, I'll get kicked out of the comp for fantasy. Did you get the Broncos?
I did, unfortunately. As I said, at least I'll get some form of a win out of it by picking them.
For some reason, I went for the Warriors to beat the Roosters.
Yeah, me too. It was a weird game.
That was bad.
The Warriors definitely got fucked by injury and by the refs.
No way you got the Bulldogs over Storm.
No, which kind of you should have in a way. No Munster. That little wee shark guy sucked like I predicted.
Did you see the Bulldogs round 1 though?
Yeah,
did you get the Dolphins?
I definitely got the Dolphins, yeah. They deserved that win too.
You can't have done too bad then. You wouldn't have got the Dragons either, surely.
I did. I
you?
last second, I even said I was going Titans, and last second I changed to the Dragons just because the Titans beat the terrible Tigers.
Yeah, and not entirely convincingly.
Yeah, so no, I did change to the Dragons, which again, looking at the game, they didn't look great either, but it just shows.
What about the Knights then? Did you get the Knights?
I did get the Knights actually.
Yeah, so it's not too bad.
It was kind of a mixed round.
You're still well ahead of me. I did terribly in round 1. Shocking.
I feel like I should have done better.
I only got half.
What were your takeaways from the round? We watched a couple of games?
What did I watch? I watched the Roosters Warriors. My takeaway from that is that the Roosters aren't as good as people think they are. They arguably
the same as last year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Terribly.
Yeah, they've picked up right back where they left off. They look clunky. They look like they're not all on the same page. Especially just the likes of was it Suwali and Tedesco both times where Suwali made the break.
Suwali made the break and was just like, fuck you, Ted.
Well, to be fair, he only did that after Ted knocked it on.
Still, the play both times I think was to give it to Ted.
It looked like too after that try, because one of them still led to a try, which was that try to Walker, I believe, and it looked like Walker actually blew up at Suwali a bit afterwards. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting.
But also he was having a hell of a game. He just didn't put the icing on the cake for them. Warriors were hard done by. Like they only lost by 8, and who'd they lose? Chance. They lost Ford. They lost someone out. Who did they? Niokore for a chunk of it.
Yeah, they're not bad depth wise, the Warriors, but yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see how the young fullback goes for them against the Cowboys.
Yeah, against their young fullback too.
This weekend. What else did I watch? I watched, other than that, I only watched the Tigers Knights, weirdly.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, it was not a good game. Obviously, the Knights are in absolute disarray once again due to Ponga's constant run of bad luck with injury.
It'd be interesting to see if he sits for an extended period or.
Well, they've just the NRL's just made a ruling that what do they call it? Category 1 or Grade 1.
Yeah, so it's an 11-day.
Yeah, it's a mandatory 11-day stand.
But I'm thinking more so like, you remember, I think it was Luke Keary, when he was going through it all, he just sat for like months just to get his shit together.
Yeah, so whether the Knights take it beyond that 11 days, it's going to be tough for them because like the bulk of their cap is tied up to Ponga.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't got many games under his belt in the halves, so...
He makes such a difference, though. Even though they won the game, I think that was a testament to how bad the Tigers were. But
yeah,
he has such an influence on the game when he actually does play.
That'd be my one other takeaway from that game is that Gamble did a really good job.
Yeah, he was a mean pickup, I reckon.
He got quieter as the game went on, but...
Yeah, to watch, certainly not on the field. You see him spraying the shit out of every Tiger in sight.
Yeah, his gameplay was quiet, but he was probably the loudest bastard out there.
Dewey? Dewey was just having fucking fits at him.
He was screaming at him. There was quite a bit of tension in that game because of the Jackson Hastings situation. So I guess it kind of, in a way, was good that tension was there because it made the game a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like the gameplay itself
disgusting. Yeah.
Wasn't the best game going. Anything from you?
Well, I watched the Cowboys-Broncos game and wasn't impressed. Cowboys just seem to always start really strong and then just fade, which is a weird thing they've got going on. But I think it kind of proved that the Broncos, I mean, if they don't end up like the back end of last season, they could be really good. I think they started last year really well and then just fell apart. But the way they're playing, I think they could actually be a top 4, top 6 side.
I think what they've got going for them too is that they might not necessarily struggle as much without Reynolds as they normally do because Mam's been on fire. I mean, obviously Reynolds helps him with that game. That's why he's probably able to play so well. But they'll take a little bit of confidence out of that too.
Yeah, it is kind of like the JT Michael Morgan sort of pairing. Obviously not as great, but you're seeing that Ezra or Morgan used to benefit off of all of that pressure being put on the other half's shoulders. So Man was just having free reign to run and do whatever the fuck he wanted and was just running rampant. But they do have depth as well. Like, who's the young boy? Reece Walsh at the back. Like, he can go to the halves if Reynolds inevitably does sit.
Yeah,
and you've got Arthurs.
I have talked about that too.
Arthurs is coming and he's covering Oates and Oates is good, but I mean Arthurs is still so solid. You don't lose a hell of a lot.
He's quite an underrated guy, Arthurs, really.
Yeah, and he can play kind of anywhere in the back line. Which
he'll certainly find himself, I'm sure, in a starting spot at a club soon. Well, he'll probably remain at the Broncos.
He could take over from. I mean, Oates is getting on, so is Oates getting on?
Well, Farnworth's gone next season,
yeah.
So he'll slot straight in there. Oates is like early 30s.
He's kind of felt here. He's been around for ages, right?
He's younger, I think, than Felt.
He started when he was like 18 or something. Yeah. So he is getting on.
He's still got years left in him. I mean, he had a great season last season.
Yeah.
So he is a loss for them. Arthurs won't necessarily slot straight in, but he did play on the wing.
He definitely could. He's solid.
Recently as well.
Roosters Warriors. I think the Warriors are not the real deal in the sense they're going to win the comp, but they're the real deal in the sense that they're not going to be as pathetic as past seasons.
Now, they should compete with most teams.
Yeah, even though they didn't look super convincing against the Knights and they still lost to the Roosters, they've been in most games and they haven't played their best either. So I think, I'm kind of scared as a Cowboys fan. I think in the coming weeks they might start to kick on.
I do feel to a degree they need to win that game, the Warriors, which sounds ridiculous to say this early on, but the Cowboys are a team that's looked a bit on the ropes, so I really do think the Warriors should be looking at putting a bit of a statement out.
I disagree.
Yeah, we are a one-eyed Cowboys fan.
Well, no, I'm saying that they don't need to win this game. If they lose this game, they're still going to be in the comp, and they're still looking much better.
Of course, it's super early, but
I think it's also a Cowboys side that's missing key players as well as the Warriors missing key players. So.
It's over there?
Warriors are home.
Oh, I think that, I really think it's... The Warriors would... If they don't win this, they should be kicking themselves somewhat. Like, the Cowboys genuinely seem on the ropes with Drinkwater out, Peter Hiku out.
Yeah, but the Warriors are also missing Ford and Chans and key players as well. Plus Metcalf's still out, so they've still got a lot of guys out too. So I wouldn't be too harsh on them if they did.
Those young guys for them too. that it's like their opportunity to really stand up
Yeah,
and say,
100%.
you know, we want to be involved in more of the season rather than just sort of when
Like
there's
bit-time
injuries as
players,
well.
yeah.
So
I
be
saw the
interesting.
Dolphins Raiders. The Raiders sucked. My prediction of the Raiders sucking is coming to light. There was some fucking terrible calls in this game. Sean O'Sullivan got sin binned, and it was just absolutely fucking absurd. It was almost like the Raiders had a guy in the bin, so the ref was just like, oh well, O'Sullivan put a bad shot in, so he can go to the bin too, even though it was just minimal and nothing in it.
That's interesting because highlights wise, I thought, oh, it actually looked like the Dolphins struggled a bit, which I thought maybe wasn't such a good thing for them.
They were
but
kind of getting done.
if they got screwed on a couple of calls, that might explain a lot.
O'Sullivan looked like he was going to fucking burst into tears or flames. He'd put a kick out on the full. I think he'd had a knock on, and then that happened, and he was pulling at his already thinning hair, and he was trying to fucking rip it out of his skull. So it was good that he ended up winning.
I guess from a fan perspective, that's good. It makes it, you know, it shows how much he cares.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Should we roll on to just a little look at the next round?
Yeah.
So it's opening with the Seagulls versus the Eels.
I'm going to tip the Seagulls. I said at the start of the year that the Eels aren't legit. I know they haven't been losing by a big amount or like big margins, but I feel like it'll be classic of them to have a grand final and then lose 3 to open the next season. And the Eagles looked really good week 1, and I think notoriously these two normally have a pretty good game against each other.
I've said it just about the first 2 weeks that the Eels game's the toughest one to pick.
Yeah, it almost. Yeah.
And this is no different, honestly. Like I'm thinking I'm going to tip the Seagulls, but I don't know, man. The Eels have been too close in those games for me to like. Eventually, I'm thinking, well, they've got to win one.
Yeah.
But apparently, they've got the toughest open to the season. The Eels, like people are saying, they could lose.
Well,
their
it's
first
Storm
5
Sharks,
games.
Eels. Seagulls. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, and then
Dependent
I
on the
think
Seagulls,
they've got
yeah.
1 or 2 tough ones again. I think after that. So I could see this being one of those games where I tip the Eagles and then change it sort of closer to the.
Yeah, I might actually look up. I think the Eels notoriously always beat these guys, whether it's super tight or not.
I'm not entirely convinced that the week off that early was good for the Seagulls either. So
Yeah, we said the same about the Dragons though, and I mean they only played the Titans, but they still got smoked. I think too, like you got to remember, it was pretty much a Munsterless Storm for a lot of that game, and it was a Heinz-less Sharks. So yeah, tough schedule, but they weren't at their best either.
yeah, that's true.
Friday's game, I'm going Dolphins by like 40.
Yeah,
Maybe.
the Knights are going to struggle big time.
Definitely on the Dolphins bandwagon with their first 2 games, but man, missing Ponga, they're missing a few others
Ponga,
as well.
missing Frizzell,
Jaden
Brayley. Also think
Jack Johns is hurt, but he's named.
don't know whether Kurt Mann's back.
Kurt Mann's out, so they've got Leo Thompson starting at lock, which, yeah, it's weird.
He's been going quite well.
I don't think he's I guess he's just not the same small ball lock they've been going for.
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
but he has been playing well. Matty Croaks is back. He was suspended, not injured, so he's on the bench, which gives them a little depth there, but they've got some debutants on the bench as well, so
Are we going Dolphins by a reasonable margin?
yeah.
Following that is the Roosters Rabbitohs, which would
I've
be
got no fucking clue for this one.
a big one. I'll be going for the Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
I'd say if they're at relatively full strength.
I'm going Rabbits just because of the Roosters' performance last week. I think it wasn't convincing. But again, you might get the Roosters that just decide to play. They might stand up against their biggest rivals. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but for me, there's some guys still underperforming for the Roosters. Tedesco still is one for me, and Brandon Smith especially. I mean, you can't really blame him. A lot of it's been injury, but it's not the way you want
He
to.
hasn't looked good even without the injuries.
Not the
to
way
be honest.
you want to see your star recruit hooker start the season. Moving on to Saturday,
This is actually one of the toughest ones for me.
Titans Storm.
Yeah,
I guess
weirdly.
on injuries, Storm is quite weakened, aren't
Well, they
they?
were pathetic against the Bulldogs last week, and the Titans suck, but I think the Bulldogs suck as well, and the Bulldogs cleaned them up pretty easily.
It's the type of game though. I think Bellamy's near enough named an unchanged side.
Well, he's got Tarek Sims back, and
possibly
Tui,
Olam.
Kamika, and Olam. Yeah,
So
Olam's back early, so...
There are a few big inclusions.
And
Not massive, but...
Coates might be back as well.
And I just think it's one of those ones... Bellamy would have gone... Well, they showed some footage on... What show was it? One of those Fox shows of Bellamy just going berserk in the changing rooms. So I think it's one of those ones where he'll let that squad know that a loss to the Titans is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Which it is, to be fair. The Titans are not travelling well. After they opened so good against the Dragons on the weekend, they turned to absolute shit and barely put another point on them. So
turned back into themselves. They just re-upped for Feeder as well, and you just know he's going to repay them with an absolute shit, stinky performance.
And Verrills is already out.
No, he's in. Oh no, he's out. Yeah.
Collarbone.
Was it a collarbone?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a burner. I read.
He's out. Who was in? Cannot remember that. It was a bit of a vet, I'm pretty sure. Someone I was surprised by, but yeah, can't quite remember that. Then moving into the Cowboys Warriors.
Yeah, this is the money here. If you're a betting man, is a Cowboys to lead at the half, Warriors to win the game. I think it's paying something stupid like $11, and the Cowboys have started strong every game and then gotten shittier as the game's gone on, and Warriors the reverse of that. So
it is a bit of an audacious shout.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a risk, but if you're into large amounts, that's what you're looking at.
The feeling I get about the Cowboys is not good. I honestly would lean more towards Warriors, I think. Which I never...
It easily could.
I never thought I'd say that in a million years, but... I mean, it's not... I don't know much about Tom Chester, but it's not the worst thing in the world that Drinkwater's out, because he has started the season horrendously. So, who knows, it could be a...
You're being pretty rough on him, to be fair. Like...
Nah.
He got all of the Dally M points in game 1 against the Raiders because he just destroyed them in the first half.
He didn't, but
the
he
second
didn't do
half,
a lot after that.
But the whole team sucked after that.
Yeah,
we were knocking it on every single fucking minute.
But
last week he was...
Dearden's been way too quiet. I think in that first... Remember I said to you in that first game, he's running the ball too much. He was running the ball so much that I think the defense was too prepared for it. There was no sort of element of surprise.
No, I disagree. I'd rather... He's such a good player. You need him to be confident in running. You'd rather that than him just go missing.
It's good that he's
quiet.
Confident, but I don't
It's literally just our second half.
I don't like the amount of times he's doing it.
We've
too predictable.
We've had James Tamo play like a total of 17 minutes from both games coming on in the last whatever.
Yeah, he's a weird... weird.
And
that's
then
a weird
other than
choice
him, we've had Tanoa
Payton.
Brown and Neem who's been underperforming, and then Granville's been playing 15 minutes. So it's whenever our bench comes in from that 30 to 60 minute mark, we just suck.
That's another thing I said first round. Now I was like, your bench is one of the worst in the comp.
And through that
stand
period,
by that.
That period we get no go forward, so the halves really can't do anything. So it's gonna be an interesting game.
Chris Randall, by the way, is the
Chris Randall, from the Knights
for the Titties. Following the Cowboys, Warriors is Broncos, Dragons. That might not be the worst game in the world. I do think the Broncos will win.
I think the Broncos should beat them pretty convincingly. I think people will be, Dragons are 1-0, and then they're going to get fucked.
Well, that's going to be the game. That'll show you the sort of benchmark of the Dragons. If the Dragons can even get close, then it might be time to start reconsidering them as the Spooners, but it's hard to see them doing that. It's one thing to pump the Titans, it's another to push the Broncos. Anything else on that one?
Nah, I'm not interested in that game, really.
Rolling straight into the Bulldogs Tigers on Sunday night.
Dogs by 30.
Yeah, I think they'll kill them. The Tigers are, man, I don't know. Their roster doesn't look horrendous, honestly. It's not.
Everyone harped on about their signings. They were average, and both. Who was it? Uppies looked fucking kind of shit.
Yeah, average.
Papali's been good, but again, I think I mentioned during the game, he's like the Elijah Taylor. They got one good pickup, and then everyone around him's just a piece of shit.
Dewey's good. He's
okay.
He needs more help.
Luke Brooks is a waste of money. The outside backs are pretty average.
Luke Brooks might be my least favourite half in the comp, and the most overrated, overpaid half in the comp.
The young fella at the back's out injured too.
Out the back?
Fullback.
Oh, Laurie?
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, he had a good game last week
Yeah,
too.
he was like their only good player.
Who's in for him? Oh, I don't know, have a look. Man, that's bad news when they're already doing
It might be another young boy at the back.
Charlie Staines.
Oh yeah, Staines is at the back, yeah.
Oh boy, that's...
Yeah, that's why I went the 30-point deficit.
Oh boy, that is rough.
And the Dogs actually looked a lot better last week. I know it wasn't a full-strength Storm team, but that fella Preston, he ended up, I think he started, and he had a monster of a game. He looks fucking hilarious.
Yeah, everyone loved his preseason. Everyone was hyping him up.
Yeah, he was super solid.
Kirkhow needs to go, man. He is the biggest waste of money.
Oh, week 1 is horrible. I didn't think he was as bad last week, but he still isn't worth whatever he's on.
Nah, no way.
Yeah, the Tigers are going to get killed, I think.
And then, so rounding out that round is Raiders Sharks.
Yeah. So still missing Hines. The Raiders still don't look good. I think the Tigers, the Sharks are going to have a pretty decent day against them.
I feel like it could be much the same as it's been going for the Raiders. They might not get blown out of the water, but they won't win. I think they'll do okay, but they won't beat that Sharks lineup. I've been saying that all season though, so they probably will beat the Sharks.
Nah, I don't know, man. They just haven't looked good, and they've even been pretty lucky to stick around in a lot of these games. And there's going to be a week where they're just going to get fucking manhandled, I think, and it could be this week.
Just one touch on fantasy. Hudson Young has been the most disappointing buy I've had.
Yeah, but it's not even him. His team just sucks. He gets no good ball out there. He has to fucking consistently try to defend.
Yeah, that's why I said fantasy-wise. Him and Brandon Smith are just two of the worst buys you could have made.
You can't pick people with head, that constantly get head injuries.
Well, that's just to touch on it quickly. That's why it's so unenjoyable to play fantasy this year, because the amount of HIAs in a game, and typically when there's an HIA, there's also someone put on report. So the amount of players being suspended and getting injured this season is just fucking berserk. You can't...
unless you're you
can't keep up with it.
A Cowboy or a Warrior, you get suspended. If you're not, you just get a $3,000 fine.
Yeah, saying if you're a Cowboy or a Warrior, you get sent from the field for HIA, but if you're not, then no worries.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, moving on. Should we do a bit of trivia?
Yeah, I've got a little trivia. Not my best work this week, but we'll see how we go.
Welcome to me last week.
I'll give you a couple off the top. You won't be able to get it straight away, I don't think. But
okay.
It's who won the 2016 Clive Churchill Medal?
2016. Now, you picked that year, 2016, which makes me think it might be someone a little outside of the box.
Potentially.
2016, so we're going back how many seasons? 5? 6?
6.
6 seasons. 2016. Damn. Trying to think. That's couple years after we stopped doing stats, so I probably wasn't watching it as closely.
It was the year after I finished stats.
So
the year after the Mighty Cowboys won it.
I'm trying to come up with something just straight off the bat.
Do you know the teams that... Because my first clue was going to be the teams. Do you know the teams that were in it?
Storm Cowboys.
Incorrect.
Was that incorrect?
That was the following year.
Fuck me. So it was... Oh, damn.
I can tell you.
Yeah, go on.
Cool. So the game was played between the Sharks and the Storm.
Storm, Sharks won.
And it finished 14-12.
Clive Churchill medal in that game. Oh God, who the hell was playing for them?
So off the top of your head,
James Maloney probably was playing that. Maybe? Oh God, no. Where was Maloney then? It could have been... was that when it was Sean Johnson and Chad Townsend? No.
It was the player's 15th NRL season.
15th season. Oh. Man, see, I can't remember the years anymore, that players were playing at these teams.
It's tricky,
I'll try, have a stab at Maloney.
No.
No.
He was playing, though.
He was, okay. So it's that time, that era. It's going to be someone fucking random.
He played for his country and he played Origin.
Was Ennis the Menace still there?
He was.
It wasn't him?
Are you picking him?
Yeah, I'll pick him.
No, it wasn't.
Of course it fucking wasn't. Why would it be him? He would have been on his way out then too.
He did play. Might have been his last season. The
The
player played over 300 games and scored over 100 tries.
Oh, so it's a back, is it? It's not a forward.
Well,
It
they played
can't
over
be.
300 games,
300.
remember? A lot of games.
Yeah, but that's still a decent strike rate. What was it? 100.
He played over, it's not saying it, he played over 300, he scored over 100.
Yeah.
So there's no exact, I'm not giving you any exact.
Fuck, I can't even think of any of their backs then. I don't know who the fuck were their wingers and centres? I have no idea. Absolutely no. I don't even know who the fullback was. Seriously, that's so long ago. You know how many fucking double Browns have bubbled their way up to this brain in that time?
At least 12 today.
I wish. We live in bloody dream world. No, I truly can't think of any. Who were there?
He started out at Penrith and then
Was-
moved to the
Was
Sharks.
Jennings ever there? No, he wasn't there, was he? He went to the Eels. For some reason I was thinking of him. He started out where, sorry? Penrith.
Penrith.
And then went to the Sharks. Was it Gordon?
Michael Gordon?
Yeah.
No.
Was he there?
He was. He might
Was
have
he?
been the fullback and he did play for Penrith, so that's actually a pretty good shout.
He wouldn't have had that many tries, probably. Or yeah, a fair few games.
Yeah, I think he was up there. He was the co-captain the year that they won it, alongside Chris Hyington.
Oh boy, forgot Hyington was even there.
I think Hyington and Bo Ryan went there after
I
the
think he
Tigers
would have been
days.
relatively young when he left the Panthers to go on to play. Or did you say over 300 for the Sharks?
Just over 300
In
games.
general, well, that doesn't help then.
He was the final member of the Penrith 03 Premiership team
Oh god,
before moving to the Sharks in 2013.
yeah, it was there a while then. Was it Morris?
Who?
Morris.
Who's Morris?
Josh Morris? Brett Morris? Josh Morris. Which one of the... Wasn't there one of them there?
Yeah, Josh Morris, but he didn't start at the Panthers.
Oh, yeah. True. No, I don't know.
He retired in 2018 and he played multiple positions throughout his career, which included wing, centre, half, before finishing as a back rower.
I see. He was a back rower in that game. Fucking that threw me. Was it Luke Lewis?
Yes, it was.
Oh man, I thought of him ages ago and then forgot about him again. I think once you said about all the tries, I thought it was. I thought you meant 300 games, over 300 and over 100 tries for the Sharks.
No, I told you.
And when you said that, I was thinking, oh, it's a back, so I ruled out.
Well, he was a back.
But he wasn't then.
No, that's why I didn't want to state it that way. Because I knew if I said, he was a winger and then he was a back row, you'd be like,
Yeah. That was good. That was tough.
It was a smelly one, though.
Well, I didn't reckon. I mean, I'm fucking notoriously bad at this shit though. Like, I cannot fucking.
I try to not put the date too long back as well.
I can
so
think
it's
of
somewhat.
every time we do one of these. All I think of is the players that's in the teams now. And then I'm like, who the fuck else was there?
I normally pick out like a key 3 people, and then I'm just done.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't even think any Storm players, which kind of pissed me off because I thought that was gonna stump you. I thought you would have went, Billy.
Nah, that would be madness.
Cam, this, that.
It's not unheard of, but.
Oh, there's definitely been. Was it Jack White and I think got it for the Raiders when they lost?
It should never happen.
No, well,
Never.
debatable.
It should
If the losing team is a hat-trick try scorer.
Maybe if it's by a field goal,
You know?
I guess. That one was by, what, a penalty or a conversion, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know.
You could have had Billy Slater make 2 full field runaways and
It
get
wouldn't
into
sit
12.
right though, if you were the winning team and you watch it.
Well, I don't know. I think you might have just had the better team performance, but one dude on the other team might have just fucking dominated to keep them in it, you know?
I guess.
Like Kyle Feld against the Storm when we lost 40-4 or whatever it was. And Kyle got a runaway. I think he got our only line break or something. I don't know. It's pathetic.
That was one of the all-time terrible grand finals.
Yeah. All-time run to the finals and then worst finals ever.
Yeah. Horrendous. Right, what are we moving on to now?
We're moving on to your women's actresses fantasy.
Yeah, this did not play out as good as I thought it was going to in my head.
I didn't enjoy this anywhere near as much as I thought I would have.
No, I was getting annoyed doing it, if anything.
Yeah, it was a chore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll just fucking read all these off, shall we?
It probably would have been easier to do, like, the actual characters.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of, like, more the way
you can kind of relate to them a bit more like that, right?
Anyway, I mean, let's rattle through them until we get to the props, let's be honest.
That was all I was... That was my only enjoyment out of it. I think I've saved this segment with one of my props. Right, fullback, who you got?
Margot Robbie, based on the I, Tonya role where she was on the ice.
Nice.
Yeah, good movement, solid.
Yeah, so I was going to base it off of thing, then I just kind of just put people in there. So I just went for Jennifer Lawrence, just because.
Okay.
She's a GB. I don't know, Katniss.
She's
pretty
skilled,
slick. Yeah.
accurate.
Right. Wingers.
Wingers, again, I mean, it's fucking tough. I literally just went with Lucy Liu because I was like, she seems nimble. And Keira Knightley because of the balance and speed and bend it like Beckham.
I went for Winona Ryder just because she's a little cretinous looking thing. Probably quick.
Like most wingers.
And Cody Ramsey, yeah. And
I thought that was your next one. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
And Halle Berry on the other wing, just no racism, but she just looks fast.
Halle Berry's wasted.
Cat-like reflexes.
She's wasted on the wing, she's in my halves.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe centre pairing real quick though.
Yeah, Tomb Raider, Angelina Jolie,
Nice.
And probably one of the favourite people in my team, Michelle Rodriguez, because she's built like a centre.
She's a brute.
Absolutely built like one.
I followed your Lucy Liu in my centres.
Oh mate, she's gonna pack a fucking. She's gonna cop a few whacks.
Oh, she's pretty fucking lethal though, you know.
Wow, this is true.
And then I had Anna Paquin joining Halle Berry on the other side, so we got a bit of a Storm Rogue combination out there.
I see.
Accidentally.
I see what you've done.
She's also a Kiwi, so surely she's got a bit of a rugby bone in her body, maybe.
I was almost gonna put what's her name, Xena Warrior Princess in there just to have some Kiwi. Anyways, with Halle Berry in my house, I've got Zoe Saldana. Mostly based on her Neytiri in Avatar, because she's just a badass basically, and deadly with the goddamn bow and arrow.
Got a chocolate thunder there too.
Oh, cut that.
I've got in 6 here. I've got Sandra Bullock, just great leader.
She's
quite dynamic. She's doing a lot of different things.
She's always like leading some sort of task force in those action flicks.
And then paired with her is just the most experienced woman you could possibly name. And obviously you've got to know who I'm talking about.
Meryl?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Meryl.
Big Mezza Streep in the halves of Sandra Bullock. You can't beat them.
Oh man, she's played so many parts though. Like it's like
She's the Beaver. She's played fucking 400 games. She's played 400 roles in her.
it's like the
acting
equivalent
career.
of like James Maloney just playing for as many clubs as possible.
Yeah, and how many clubs did he take to the grand final?
Yeah,
There you go.
this is true. Now, speaking of, what did you say before? Chocolate Thunder.
Oh no.
My props are Queen Latifah and Whoopi Goldberg. No explanation necessary.
I had Whoopi on my bench. I couldn't go with her to start.
Oh, mate.
She's got that fooey Goldberg.
Yeah,
boom
she
off the bench, I
bunty roll.
Well, I've gone for Vanilla Thunder then. Because I've got Kathy Bates. And she's paired with pre-skinny Rebel Wilson.
Oh yeah, I was gonna do that with the exact same explanation before it.
Had to. Who have you got in the middle?
I went with Uma Thurman for like thinking of the Kill Bill.
At hooker.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I put there's no way anyone's getting past her, and if they do, she'll kill them.
Yeah, it's fair. I've gone for a bit of a weirder one, but
Hooker was tough.
I went for Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh yeah.
Just because she's a bit of a unit.
She's tiny.
I
mean, she's not
used to not bleeding from the nose. She's got a bit of mongrel in her.
She's not a bit of a unit, but like if
She is a bit
she's
of
got
a
the
unit.
powers on board. Then
No, she is a unit now. She's definitely grown up. Then we've got Jamie Lee Curtis as my first back rower, just because she's just a psychotic looking bitch. Paired with Viola Davis for similar reasons.
okay, bit of age to her, but oh shit! That of all the things we've said in this pod, that'll probably get us cancelled.
Who have you got in your back row?
So first one's a little bit of a cheat, but she's done some movies. Ronda Rousey.
No.
She's going to judo toss motherfuckers
No.
like crazy.
No. Doesn't count.
She'll get sent off a lot for crushes. And Stephanie Beatriz, who plays Rosa Diaz
that's
on Brooklyn, just because she ain't going to put up with any shit.
Her real life, like in real life, she's a little bitch. She's like super nice.
Yeah,
but
her,
if you're basing it off the character,
her
she's
accent's
amazing.
completely different when you hear her off the show.
Now,
Lock. If we don't have the same lock, I'll eat my
we most
hat.
definitely don't.
Oh?
Yeah, I've gone very controversial for my lock.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right, lay it on me.
Well, when I went on Google and I searched actresses, I was surprised to see Elliot Page still there, the formerly known
Yes.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page, yes.
So even though they changed into a man,
Yeah.
they changed into a man, they were still listed as an actress. So
Okay.
I've gone for Elliot Page.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm for the actual sake of this podcast, I'm not going to comment any further on that. Mine is way better than yours, and as the captain of my team, Gwendolyn Christie, otherwise known as Brienne of Tarth,
Ah, fuck.
because she's an absolute fucking unit.
Yep.
That's why she is my captain.
Yeah, Elliot Page isn't standing a chance.
And the favourite person I picked on that whole thing. I didn't have a bench because it was hard enough to come up with the rest of the show.
Oh, see, I've got a pretty solid bench here, I
Alright.
reckon.
Lay it out.
So obviously I've got the big whoopster, Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah,
I've got,
that's what they commonly call her, yeah, the big whoopster.
I've got Stifler's mum, aka Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's just that nuggety maggot
She's
bitch
gonna,
off the bench. She's going to wind up the whole
she's gonna
team.
knock a few defenders out with them, you know what.
And then following that, Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yeah. I considered her
Obvious
as well.
reasons.
She's got to be there.
Um,
You'd have her these days over current day Rebel Wilson.
Oh yeah, yeah. Current day Rebels twig bitch. She's getting snapped. And then my utility, and this is just for the sake of I hope they get Crusher tackled, is Kirsten Stewart. Just so you wouldn't have to listen to her or see her active again.
Oh, mate, she's in a banger. I can't that prison movie.
Oh, Twilight. Oh.
No. No, you can like that. That's fine. That's okay. But I can't remember what it's called. That's
Yeah,
very
well,
good.
it can't be that fucking
Look
good
up-
then, can it,
Look
bud?
up Kristen Stewart prison movie. There's too many movies these days. I can't keep up with all the
Foolish.
fucking names.
Fucking fool.
Brawling Cell Block. No, it's not that.
Well,
that's Vince Vaughn.
Did you have a coach? Because I didn't.
Nah, I didn't have a coach. I'd probably have Stifler's mum as my coach, to be honest.
Yeah.
Should be a good shout.
Play a coach?
Should just G them up.
Yeah, that was unenjoyable. I'm going to pick a better thing next time.
Well, we're running out, that's the thing. We're running out.
I mean, we could just do female TV and movie characters and just piggyback off of that.
Nah, yeah, I guess. We could do WWF wrestlers.
That'd be pretty good.
That'd be an alright one.